Hey guys, this is ImArtsify and welcome to another editing tutorial. Now, as I say, a massive thank you to the response I got on the cloning tutorial. It got amazing feedback. It's currently on 23 likes, which is awesome. I really appreciate that, guys. And let's try and get a nice amount of likes on this one as well. Let's try and get for the same amount of likes. Let's try and go for like 20 likes because I want to go for the tough ones. But yeah, I'm also on 190 subscribers, so 10 more till 200. So at 200 I might do an editing contest if you guys would be interested in that. But yeah, I'm just gonna get on with this tutorial. It's pretty cool. It's like a scope power up effect. So as he scopes in, now it does look pretty bad in slow motion, not gonna lie, but when it's actually when the clip's playing, it looks really cool. So I'm just gonna play this through and turn it down because it's quite loud. And then we'll get started on how to make it. So see there, it looks pretty cool. Builds up. It's kind of added in some sound effects, so it actually looks really good. And the ring that comes out just looks awesome in my opinion. But yeah, let's just get right on creating this. I'm just gonna go to just organise myself a bit here. Make a new button there. Okay, we're gonna go new composition. We're gonna make it something like 4 seconds long. Obviously make sure it's 1280 by 720 like this. Stick it in there, call it tutorial. Right, so we've got a clip here. Now he scopes in, he misses a shot here, then he scopes in here. There we go, that's where the first scope is. So hit shift 1 to make a marker. Go to where he unscopes, which is there. So hit shift 2 to make the second marker. Now we can actually just zoom in to just this area here. Okay, so now we need to create the circles. So to do this, you want to make a new composition, make it 500 by 500. Length doesn't really matter. I'm just going to call this circle. Drag that into the tutorial file. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the ellipse tool here, and sorry, my bad, we need to make sure there's a red fill. It doesn't matter what the colour fill is, doesn't make a difference. Hit 0. Well, it does, obviously. If it's red, then it's going to be red, so you can make it whatever you want. You then want to double click the ellipse tool and you've got a red circle. I'm just going to decrease the scale to 99 just so that the edges don't overlap the composition. And then back in the tutorial file, we're going to go to, we can hit 1 on our keyboard and it takes us back to the first marker here. We're going to drag the circle on top here to the start like this. I'm actually just going to scale up so it matches and position it and so on. Doesn't really have to be super exact. Okay, there we go. So now we are actually going to bring the opacity down a little bit just so we can see what we're doing. But what we do is we change the mode to add, and then we bring the opacity down. Now you can either use add or you can use overlay. Now overlay looks pretty cool. I'm actually going to use overlay in this example. I used add in the one I showed you at the beginning, but we'll be different and use overlay. So now you want to grab the pen tool on the circle and select your each quadrant of the scope. I don't even know how well that did it. Just kind of play around with the positioning here, and then if you see what happens when you do something like this happens. So to fix that, you want to drag this one up but while still keeping it. Now the closer you're zoomed in, the easier it is to adjust. Now it can be hard to get it exactly right. There we go, so that's pretty much there. Now we're just gonna reconnect it here, there we go. So as you can see, we've got one of the quadrants selected, like so. So now we want to duplicate that layer. We want to then hit R and we want to rotate it like so. So rotate it 90 degrees and boom, we've done that. Now we want to duplicate it again, rotate it again 90 degrees. Oh, so it's at 180 now. like so, and then we want to duplicate it again, but I'm duplicating this by holding Command D or Control D, and then rotate it again so it's at 270. Oh, there we go. So now we've got our 4 scopes lined up. Now what we need to do, we need to get them to do that, the kind of the fade-in thing. Let's do that. You want to go into the original circle comp. You want to hold Shift Command C to pre-compose, or go to Layer, Pre-compose. You want to click Move All Attributes and Leave Composition, and we'll want to call this Circle Base, like that. And now you can then double click on the ellipse tool, so it creates a mask around a circle mask. You then want to bring the expansion down to -250, so it's gone completely. You then want to go to where he's finished, so here, and bring it up to 0. So where the scope finishes. So as you can see, it does this, but we want to do it individually and offset it, which means that this last keyframe, all of them have to have been done except the last one at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here, zoom out a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now you can see there are roughly 36 keyframes here. So what we want to do is we want to go back to 16, and we want to drag this back to 16 here. Then half of 16 is 8, so I'm going to take it back to 8. So now what happens is it takes 8 frames to scope in. So now all we need to do is select these and drag them along till the last one's done. So it's like, poof, now I'll just start doing it. Then we want to go to when the next one's done and select the top 2, like so, and go to where that one's done, and now just select the top one, offset it like this, like so, and boom. So there we go. So now if we zoom out a bit, you'll see boom, 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 boom. They all fade in offsetedly. That's a little bit funny. Now we want it to also finish there, so we don't want them to be visible. So you can hold Command or Control left to right arrows to go back keyframes, and then you press Alt to close square bracket, and Skype go away. So that basically ends all the compositions there. Then you go forward a frame, and you can see there's nothing there. So we've done this now. We've done the main part. Now what we want to do is when it completes, so when it gets to here, we want to have a little bulge, so it kind of the scale increases. So to do that, we want to duplicate the actual clip, hold Command D, and where you want it to start, you want to press the Alt open square bracket button. You're then going to go forward to where he finishes scoping in, and press the Alt square bracket button. So now we've just got a short clip here. We can now add a mask around just the scope, so I'll down Shift, drag a circle mask, like so, go like roughly, there we go. It doesn't have to be exact, so if we hide it you can see that it's just the scope selected. We can then hit the S button to bring up scale, hit the stopwatch, go to the middle here, I'm going to go forward 2 frames, bring the scale up a bit, something like that. Then I want to go forward to where he finishes, which is right about here, and bring it back down to 100. So now as you can see, as these all finish scoping in, the scope kind of bulges and then comes back. But the thing is, the red isn't bulging with it. So to fix this, we want to select all the circle layers that we have, hit S to bring up scale, keyframe them, go to the next frame, holding Command right arrow key again, and just scale it up so it's the same approximate size. Go for the next frame, and again just bring it up. It's not it's pretty logical really. Forward another frame, bring it down like so. Another frame, bring it down again like that, and then boom. So now if we zoom out again and I show you what we've got boom, 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 scope then bulges. Now that's a pretty cool effect already, but the thing is it doesn't feel complete. So what I did was, if I show you, I added in this circle bulge coming out here. Now obviously the the layers look a bit different because I feathered them on this one, but obviously you don't need to feather them and so on. So you want to go back to the tutorial and you want to make a new composition, 500 by 500 again. I'm going to call it ring, and we can use the same method we used in the scope rings tutorial to do this. We're going to select the ellipse tool, make sure there's no fill by clicking on fill, then clicking the one with the cross, then making the stroke 15. Then we're just going to double click on the ellipse tool, and now we have a little stroke. Now we're going to bring the scale down. So I cover the going in depth into how to do this in the scope rings tutorial. So you want to go to contents, ellipse, stroke, where it says dashes, hit the arrow twice. Now bring the dash up, so something like maybe a bit more, something like that. There we go. That's pretty cool. Just bring the dash up to say it's 88 there, so just where it looks nice. And then you want to go back to the tutorial layer. You want to go to where you want the thingy to start, so we can say start it. It can start kind of scaling up here. We can then drag the ring above the red layer, align it with our playhead. So in the moment it just doesn't do anything, it's just there. Now the first thing we want to do is hit the scale button, scale down to 0 so it's invisible, and then hit the stopwatch, go forward a frame, and actually go forward a couple frames. See something like there just before the bulge happens, and just scale it up something like that. Then you want to go to the next frame, and obviously the scale's starting to happen, so you want to scale it back up, further up like so. And you want to scale it up even further, and start bringing it down again. Just bring it down a bit further, and then it needs to cut out here, so we can hit Alt close square bracket. So now it stops. Okay, so now we've got the basics of this. It goes poof, but we need to add some more effects to it. So we're going to go to ring, we're going to hit the R, and we're going to hit the stopwatch, go to the end, and we're going to spin it by say 4 times. So hit the first number to 4, so now it will do 4 360-degree rotations. So now if we watch, you'll see it is actually spinning, but because there aren't that many frames, it's quite hard to see. But yeah, so we've got that. Now there are a couple more things you can do. You can add a glow to the ring, so effect, stylize, glow. Now I'm just going to leave the default settings on, they look quite nice. You can then go to effect. If you have the trapcode plugins, you can go effect, trapcode, shine. Bring the ray length down quite a bit, somewhere like 0.2, looks pretty cool. So now it kind of matches the reds and so on. Now there's another thing which is quite a nice effect. You can add motion blur to the ring. Now to do this, you want to go to the ring layer, you want to hit toggle switches modes until you've got the 3 boxes here. The circles here where it says motion blur simulate shutter duration, you want to click the little box so that the circles appear in the box of the ring layer, and then click these circles here for the motion blur to turn on. So now it looks pretty cool, and it's got this motion blur to it, and it's a really nice effect. So we've got that. Now there are a couple more things you can do. You can add feathers to the masks on these, so we just increase the feathers to say 20, 20, 20, 20. So as you can see, as they come in now, they're feathered. You can't, and then if you want to feather these edges, you go to the circle, and then you have to turn the feather on here, so bring the feather up to something like that, so 47, and then if you go to tutorial, you'll see as it comes in now, the edges are feathered. But when they're feathered, you can see they obviously don't fill the whole area completely, and it doesn't fill as like heads up display like as futuristically. So I'm not going to add any feathers. I think it actually looks cooler without. In the original example there was quite a bit of feathering, and because there was add, you can see it's got these kind of extra lines here, but obviously if you change the overlay mode, the blending mode, then it's going to change quite a bit. So we've got this. So now you've got the pretty much done now. You can obviously don't have to do red, you can do whatever colour you want. I think red looks pretty cool. you can obviously change the opacity if you don't want them that bright. So say 50 opacity, so it goes boof 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 like this, and then it looks pretty cool in my opinion. And that actually looks really cool. Now there's one thing that I did was add in a sound effect, a Transformers sound effect. Now I got this in a pack, an editing pack. I can't remember what pack it was, but if you like look up Transformers sound effects or something, I'm sure you'll find it. You can then just drag that in to roughly there. Hit LL to bring up the audio. Now this is quite a long one. That's what she said. I'm just going to cut it here, so like so. So now that looks pretty cool. So just one other thing, you can add in a song. So I'm just add in a background track. I'm gonna try and find the drop in this song. It's quite far into it. But yeah, like this is a pretty cool tutorial. I'm gonna definitely start using this in more videos, and it's definitely a nice way to start, like for the first clip in a edit. So keep that in mind. Okay, so he shoots here, so there's the drop. Okay, we want to start it roughly here. Now you can also, I just saved this, you can add a there, can't speak, color correction. So Command Alt Y or Control Alt Y to bring up an adjustment layer. Go to looks. I'll just add a quick color correction here, just so I can show you guys what the full potential of how it looks. I'm going to do with this one. Is it this one I like? Can't remember which one I used. Might have been that one. No, but that's a pretty nice one anyway. So you see the HUD comes up, the scope comes out, and it looks really cool. And then if we just Control S that, and then we'll RAM preview it to show you guys how it looks. So yeah, like give me tutorial suggestions, guys. I'm struggling to come up with new ideas, so if there's anything you want to see, show me and I'll try and make it for you. I'm always up for trying new effects, so yeah, just comment in the sections what you want to see, because I'll do these tutorials for you guys. So okay, let's just see how this looks. Now I forgot that this is quite a quiet song. It's like let's just have a look quickly. Now that looks really cool, like the sound effect really makes it. So if we just hold down Command and watch through this, it looks really nice with the sound effect, the color correction, and just the rings exploding. Like it all happens so fast, it's hard to see what actually happens. So you can obviously add a motion blur to the rings if you want. Because they don't move that fast, not much will change. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to leave a like. Let's try and get 15 likes, maybe 20. Comment in the comment section on other tutorials you want to see. Hope you have a good Saturday, since it's Saturday today, and I shall see you guys later.